Oh, men and women unite. Men and women unite. For me, in a sense that I had played with music and musicians that was of that caliber prior to joining Slave. So, and I think like a jazz musician. I'm known more from an R&B, funk, rock kind of cat, but I think like a jazz musician. So, you know, I'm into taking chances, which others would say are taking chances. I say I'm just continuing to evolve. And so that's how I was able to go into Hall of Fame 1. And then they said, Atlantic Records goes, you know what? If you give us another Watching You, it's a done deal. And I said, well, first of all, I already did Watching You. That's already there. I'm not trying to duplicate Slave. If I was going to do that, then I should stay. I mean, I'm not going to try to duplicate Slave and I'm not in Slave. That's ridiculous to me because I was hearing other things. I didn't leave because we were against each other. I left because I knew it was an evolution that I still needed to do as far as my growth, business-wise too. So, yeah, so I went ahead and said, way out, where you never been before. And, you know, and it doesn't sound like Watching You. It doesn't sound like Wait For Me. It's its own thing. And I really had to stick to my guns on that because I said, listen, a lot of people underestimated me because I was the drummer that came in. So, okay, then you start singing and okay, and you're writing. Okay, now you're doing your own thing and we're telling you, here's the way to go. And you're like, nah, I'm going way out. You know, so that's kind of how that went. Okay. Yo. Hi, this is Steve Arrington, and you're listening to Brunch in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez, and we going way out.
Hi, this is Mason. You're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Perfect.
Leon, that's right, Leon, for some of your favorite movies, and I'm at Brunch in the Basement with Terez and JaVonne. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Stay here with me.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artist or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today.
Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody.
Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
Bosses though, Jay. She's got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out.
You can send me some cologne, because I mean, you know. Yeah. Just in case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, you know, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
And we thank you for that.
thank you.
Yes,
Well, thank you. This part, that little piece, I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all.
We're going to start off by first saying, I'm going to be here by myself today. Silky smooth, JaVonne, my illustrious co-hostess with the mostest, is a little under the weather. Visually. However, she is in the background doing what most wizards do, using her fingers to use her powers for good. And she's still going to be helping me along in the show. So shout out to JaVonne today for helping the girl out, even being under the weather. And we send you love and hope and healthy healing vibes. Okay. Now, me being here alone has its consequences. That means I get to talk about stuff, supported, of course, but talk about stuff that's on my mind. Now, before I rip into it, I'm really having brunch in the basement today. Well, I'll say brunch in the foyer today. And yeah, you know, we want to welcome you to WJBR Internet Radio, broadcasting for the inquisitive mind and the sophisticated ear. I'll start off with a warning. This is a big warning where I'm sitting here by myself. Warning, you may hear explicit language, gospel music, house music, jazz, pop, soul, Motown, alongside interviews with celebrities, upcoming artists, politicians, or even your next door neighbor. The fact is, this is for grown folks only, right? And we're licensed to do it throughout the USA, ASCAP, BMI, all of Canada. You know the drill, right? So we just want you to know before we even start that we are we're rocking and ready for this, okay? So here's some music you like. Maybe I have like, you know, it's been on my mind. I've been playing a lot of gospel lately, right? Playing a lot of gospel because it needs you to just stir up some of this, keep this energy at bay, you know, play it loud. Sometimes I even attempt singing. When the wife is not home, of course. I'll sing it loud. Like, you know, I swear, Leandra Johnson, I'm her backup singer. I swear, you know, I swear about this. And, you know, we'll never, ever tell her that and never, ever demonstrate that. But leave it to me. When she starts singing, Deliver Me, I'm that choir. Sometimes I take a few of her verses. It's a lot. We had a busy week this week, and you know, a lot of stuff stirring. You know, it just feels like the closer we get to this election, the more manic things become, the more manic people become. But we're gonna keep it really, 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 at least I'm gonna try to keep it really, really, really cool. As possible. As cool as possible. You know, folks are out there still not knowing why they want to vote for an orange person and coming up with all kinds of interesting stuff. That rally yesterday, bananas, packed full of nuts. We had over 30,000 people in an arena cheering our girl on. And, you know, I believe we are looking at the next president of the United States, good people. What y'all think? What y'all think? Now, okay. The views and opinions expressed here in this program are those of the speaker. Moi. And they don't necessarily reflect the views of WJBR Internet Radio or its affiliates. So just know that when I'm speaking, this is my opinion. You'll hear the word allegedly sometimes. And, you know, it is what it is. You have to make these disclaimers early because folks, you know, folks just need to know, you know. So if you're mad, be mad at me, Twan, okay? Okay. And I agree with you too. So, what you see in the basement with JaVonne and Terez, that would be JaVonne, the wizard. Okay? All right. So, how's your weekend shaping up so far? You got plans? Y'all got plans? Anybody wearing any interesting Halloween costumes? I'll wait. I'll see it. Type them in if you have an interesting Halloween costume. Just coughing and snotting for you. Oh, no, you stay inside. You stay inside, JaVonne, and you get better. Okay? We want you better. Wrapped up and snugly, and get you some nice little fluffy socks and some even some bunny ears, you know. I'm not supposed to say anything, or not to say that we've discussed this topic, but Mo has a whole suit with a tail. It's a little kitty suit that she sleeps in, little pajamas sometimes. When she's walking around, like she'll get dressed and put that on and walk around the house. Exactly. Has a tail and everything. It's furry. It's onesie. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about this rally yesterday. How many of y'all were excited about it? And of course, you know, they were in H-Town, so you know they had to bring out H-Town finest. That's right. Coming pulling up the anchor to introduce the VP herself, Kelly and Beyond. No, I knew she wasn't gonna sing. This is I'm glad, you know, something that's funny. I knew she wasn't gonna sing, but I'm glad she said she's there as a mother. You know what I mean? Like she really brought it home with that for me, because, you know, and it lends itself back to that folks don't understand that behind the wall, the fourth wall, it's an expression that we use in show business. They're human beings, you know, and she was there as a mother, which she is, a mother of 3. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's happening. Everybody is affected by the same situation, you know. So yeah, so she was there as a mother, you know, and said some really poignant things, you know. And you know, like folks may be able to get out of here with this, you know, out of the country, but you know, the fact of the matter is she's raising American children, you know. So at the end of the day, the policies and the government governing of this country affect them too, you know, particularly women's reproductive rights. Now that, like, just think that we live in a world where they want to regulate the decisions that women make with their bodies. I'll let that sit for a second. Just think of it. They want to regulate the decisions women make with their bodies. That shouldn't even sound right to you. And you know, and you know, I'm gonna take it easy today, maybe. But there's no need for it. You know, like my wife says, if you haven't worn it in 2 years, Rez, throw it away. There's no need for it, because this is not something that ever existed. Why do you think that we'd be okay with that now? What about 2025 says to you? I'm talking to anybody who believes that's a thing or should be a thing. 2025. What about 2025 makes you think that should be one of the issues that we address as if it's pending? Oh, you know something? Women need to know what to do with their bodies and the decisions. I think that is a point we're going to drive home. What about 2025 makes you think that that's necessary? Because I want a president with priorities, right? And, you know, some of them are going to be domestic priorities. Some of them are going to be foreign priorities. But priorities nonetheless. You know how, like, everybody's household, in my opinion, has priorities. And I'll give you an example if you think yours doesn't. You're going to pay the light bill versus maybe go out with your friends. Versus in what order? Now, if you're going to do both, there's an order. I'm going to pay the light bill here. But you make the decision to prioritize what you deem important, right? That's my point I'm trying to make. How is that? How is governing what I do with my body something to be legislated? Yeah, he has a prior to staying out of jail. I agree. But just think about that. It's okay what you want to do in the agreements you make with your own wife in your own household. That's between y'all. Behind your closed doors, nobody cares. But when you want to legislate, meaning it's not just good for my wife, I want your wife to do it too, and your wife to do it too. Therein lies the problem. Therein lies the sickness of it all. Therein lies a whole lot of things that you just don't get to do. If you don't want your wife having abortions, don't have a, listen, that's between y'all. You negotiate that in your household. Nobody cares. But when you say nobody's wife, you got an issue. You have a personal issue, and I don't think you like women, quite frankly. Govern what goes on in your own households accordingly, and stay out of, no, they don't like women. They don't like women. The glowworm objectifies and has been objectifying women since the war. And you pick a war, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Yes, they want to control women. And that's the reason why anybody who votes for them, I'm on the runway. That's the reason why anybody who agrees in what he's saying has an issue, in my opinion, has an issue with women, and also a deep-seated issue, mind you. You may, I don't have an issue with. Yeah, you do. Because you don't see the decisions and the government of women autonomously by women as a thing that should happen. You just don't. Hence, not being able to see a woman run this country. But that's what's fitting to happen. We've been running households. We've been running We've been running so many things for so long. Classrooms, you name it, for so long. From the times where they were delegated responsibilities of women, quote unquote, certain job types for women, till now. And you know something? It's time. It's time. Now, I'm not just talking about any woman, and I'm certainly not voting for anyone because of their sex. But when's the last time we had somebody that's qualified up for that position at all? I will wait. Like, really, just lay the resumes out. Lay them out. Lay out glowworms. Hell, even lay out Obama's. Lay out Bush. Lay out Clinton's. Lay the resumes side by side. I'm not just talking about being a politician and serving the people, because most of them have, except for Glowworm. He's the only one that's not qualified for nothing, for running his mouth. He's the only one not qualified for nothing. Right? Okay, let's just be clear. And the only one with felonious tendencies. She's the most qualified by far. You lay her resume out with the resumes of 5 of the last presidents, and she sweeps them all. All of them she sweeps. So what's this really about, y'all? Because we're about to peel back some more layers in the onion in a minute, and it's like going into that space, the closer we get to this election. How many days we out now? November 5th. How many days? What's like? Somebody count that for me. No time. 10. Thank you. 10 days. And if you're voting early, less than that. We get to vote early this week. Today, actually, starts the voting for New York, New Jersey area, the 21st of October. No, I'm sorry, the 22nd and then the 26th. So we got New York, New Jersey. But at the end of the day, it's like most qualified. So what's this really about? Because you haven't liked all of the other, like for those of you nitpicking with, I don't like this. Have you liked all of Bush's policies? You weren't that vocal. At least I didn't think you did. Now, I've been following the elections for a long time. And you weren't that vocal with your opinion about Bush's policies, or his sons for that matter. You weren't that vocal about nepotism either. How about that? Huh? I'll let you mull that over for a minute. Weren't that vocal about Clinton's policies? You chuckled when he had his little indiscretion in office. That's what you called it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Your slip is showing, and you need to get it back in line. Because you know what? Nobody likes everything anybody does. You know, just because I am clearly voting for her, does not mean she's the end all be all. There's some things I'd like to get better, but damn it, what she's talking about right now is what I want to hear. And what I want to hold her accountable for. Period. Period. I don't know anything he's talking about that I want to hear. Nothing. I don't even like his delivery. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like his condescending ways. I don't like the way he moves his hands. I don't like anything about him. I don't like his energy. And thank you, Exonerated 5, for handling your business. And for those of you who do not know who the Exonerated 5 are, they were formerly known as the Central Park 5, a group of men out of New York, well, boys at the time, out of New York City, that were accused, wrongfully accused, tried, convicted, and imprisoned for a crime they did not commit. It came out that they did not commit the crime after having served quite a few years in jail, basically their childhood in jail. So when they were all acquitted of the charges, they were grown men by the time they got out of jail. But while they were going through the most horrific time in history for them, for their lives, Donald Trump, regular citizen, living in New York at the time, decided he was going to take out full-page ads demanding the death penalty for the kids, and, you know, just spending money just to be harassing folks with absolutely no proof, no evidence at all. And that was a big deal because there was no proof of anything. And these young boys got convicted and went to jail for a long time. Came out as men and were exonerated of the crime, right? Which we knew that was like full of holes then, you know, full of holes. And nobody's saying that the woman wasn't attacked. She just wasn't attacked by them. So when the real person stepped forward about the crime, he didn't retract the statement. He didn't say anything about it, right? And he just, you know, went away. Well, unfortunately, he didn't go away long enough because he's using that rhetoric, talking about they were guilty, did this, that, in his campaign trail today. And this was like 30 years ago, right? So these men are now out. One of them serves the public as a politician. I think that's Youssef. And, you know, it's like very, very bizarre why he would even choose them to talk about, because, you know, somebody's not doing their job, or maybe they don't think that they need to do their job, but he's out there talking about, you know, the Central Park 5 and, you know, and they did this and they were guilty. They were never, ever guilty. Never, ever guilty. And see, that's the classic situation where, like, you don't follow up on the news and you start talking about stuff, you know, anyway, they're suing them, as they should. All of them, independently and collectively, should sue him. These men are now out living productive lives and have been, and, you know, were exonerated, which is now, instead of the Central Park 5, which is what they were billed as back then, they are now the exonerated and have been the Exonerated 5. And it's a shame that it took that long. You'll never be able to give them, you know, their life back. The Central Park 5, a group of 5 men who were wrongfully convicted of rape and assault in 1989, are suing former President Donald Trump for defamation after he repeatedly claimed they were responsible for the crime, most recently in the 2024 presidential debate. Now, plaintiffs have suffered injuries as a result of defendant Trump's false and defamatory statements and bring this lawsuit to obtain redress. The filing reads, the lawsuit filed by Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, Kevin, what's Kevin's last name? Kevin Rain, Kevin Richardson and Antron Brown and Corey Wise. In 1989, the 5 men were falsely accused of brutally raping a woman in Central Park. And at the time, the woman was 28 years old, Tricia Mealy. She was jogging in Central Park, and the men were between 14 and 16 at the time, and they served several years in prison, and they were exonerated in 2002. So 89, 2002. That gives you the time frame when they were released. Those are 30. That's like 30 years ago, and he's bringing it up in 2024 to make a point. Well, the point is you're getting sued. Sue him. And I think they should sue him separately and collectively. Please. Which should say something to you, black men. But y'all ain't listening. He wants to give police immunity. Y'all ain't listening. He's still in the same vein. His brain still works the same way. Y'all not listening. Y'all are not listening. Anytime I see someone of color, doesn't matter. He just it's deeply embedded, allegedly, in his skin. It's who he is. He comes from a lineage of this, with the exception of maybe Mary, because Mary Trump seems to see through him. But ain't nobody really listening to Mary. I'm listening to her because she makes sense. Because, somebody has to make sense of it all. But quite frankly, here's my thought behind this whole situation. Because I really don't think that he can do, let's just say for some reason, I don't even want to speak it. But let's just say he's around for a minute, right? I don't think he could do the whole 4 anyway. He's showing signs of not being able to do tomorrow. So where does that leave us as a country? In the scrawny little hands of Vance? Mm-mm. 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 No, ma'am. No, sir. Not that little twat, allegedly. No. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, look who's here. What's up, Chulo?
I'm back from the event early, so I wanted to join with you because in solidarity, because our sister is down today. So,
hey, how art thou?
Art thou is wonderful.
Nice. You look good.
I'm trying. I'm drinking my water, minding my business.
You see what I'm saying? We're 10 days away, Pop. We're 10 days away from this.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta today, everybody. But I get back on Tuesday, and once I land at 1:00, I'm literally going with my luggage to the poll.
To the poll. Yes.
Not to the poll, but to the to early voting.
Yes. Yes, I'm so excited about this early. I cannot wait to go vote. Like, I have not been this excited since Obama ran, Yeah. And this has got a different kind of energy about it. I am so excited to go cast this vote. And I just don't understand, Pop. Like, I was just talking about the exonerated 5 suing him.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I think they should sue him together as a group and collectively. Collectively and rather than separately, because I don't understand why he would even bring that up. That's such a blemish on him as a person and the city of New York.
Yeah.
So, and I'm trying to get people to understand that, he really doesn't care. He'll say things that he knows can be fact checked,
Wholeheartedly. And the sad part about he is at the Garden tomorrow.
There goes traffic.
Yeah, so they're shutting down streets. So if you're in New York, coming into New York, in Midtown area, just know that it's gonna be a messed up situation.
Yeah. May not be that many people over there though.
honestly, Terez, I'm really having a lot of election anxiety now. I'm so how can I say it? I'm so looking forward to Halloween because it's like, let me celebrate that and focus on that. And then that following week, it's like, and you know, we got daylight savings time that Sunday, right before election day.
Right.
And for me, the reason I'm voting early, and this is just me, that in my community, the young people, we rally together where we make sure the seniors get to the polls early that morning, and we have vans, we have cars escorting them. Let the seniors vote early so they don't have to wait on those lines.
Right.
And get that in, and then push in the neighborhood. Have you voted yet? Let me see your sticker. This is important. This is vote or lose your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Lose your freedom.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, I'm kind of watching too, and I'm trying, and I agree with you, Pop. There's an awful lot of, and I have to pace myself. I've had to pace myself way before because I know that watching stuff, you know, like I literally have my television monitored because I can't watch it because I get sucked in, and then I start talking to the television, and sometimes not so friendly, and I just don't need that kind of energy, you know, all the way up to there. Like it's bad for your protocol.
Yeah, I can't for this week. Like I can't go down that rabbit hole that much, but like I missed it. I was out yesterday. I missed the rally. I seen it on replays or whatever with Beyonce in Texas, and that was wonderful. I've also seen the playback of even with press, with CNN, with Charlamagne the God and Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I was having this discussion last night that I don't believe in the polls, that rhetoric of this is like 49% here, 50% here. He's leading this, he's leading that, because no one has ever called me to ask me questions.
It's like the Nielsen, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, and unfortunately, we're in a way where media sucks you into the zeitgeist where it's like, oh, you got to believe it. So there's no need for you to go vote because he has it in the bag or she has it in the bag. No, people, vote. Don't believe the rhetoric.
Yes. They're spending so much right now to make you dizzy, quite frankly. And, you know, and I was looking at, you know, and I tried to shun away from, I didn't do it successfully, but I tried to shun away from watching the early poll numbers for the states that were voting early. And I had to stop that too, because, you know, what does it mean to know who voted early? Because they could all landslide, you know, in the ninth inning. So I'm not even going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like I was getting ready to go hard in Louisiana. Like, why y'all not voting? What's going on, you know, on them parishes? What's happening out there? But I'm not going to do that, you know, because people have their systems and I'm going to trust that, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
And they implemented this new thing in Pennsylvania. Like they gotta count everything, even the absentee ballots. And we won't know until the end of the week.
Right.
And what's so funny is I'm in DC that Thursday, 2 days after the election for work stuff. And I know the temperature is going to be hot. And I don't mean the degrees.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, you're going to be in the belly of the beast. That day, that election day itself, and then the day, 2 days, that week after is usually really hot because they're still usually calculating the day after. You know, it runs well into the morning, you know, and then that second day is the day that it usually lands, you know.
Yeah, I remember growing up when you would watch it and you would know by the end of the night. By midnight, you would know who the president was.
Right. So. Not anymore. Hasn't been that way in a while.
No. And I don't even think I want to keep the TV on. I think I want to watch the Golden Girls or something else on Tuesday night.
I agree with you, JaVonne. He's setting up the doubt so when he loses, he can probably try to do the repeat of 2020. It ain't gonna work this time, buddy. You're going to jail, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, because if he doesn't win, then we start the proceedings for him.
Let's see who takes out full page ads this time. Yeah, I'm convinced that folks don't understand what it is until they are sitting in that seat. So that's why you always have to have a slice, maybe two, of humility pie, the humble pie. Because, we're just not in that time. I think, there's a book. Help me out, Pop. There's a book somewhere that projected all of this stuff that we're living in right now. It would benefit some to flip the pages of that, because I believe we're living in some of these times right now, but you just can't project images that are not in sync with who you are. Now, if you're going to be the devil, just be the devil. You know what I mean? Be clear about that, but you can't be the wolf and you just can't. You have to be in alignment right now.
The only thing I did appreciate about him was that he told you who he was when he came down that escalator. That's it. He told you, he was this. So, hey.
So what is it? A lot of us didn't believe him?
I don't know. And I'm trying to understand why they're still undecided voters. Because I was watching the town hall or something. I did watch that a little bit, the aftermath of the town hall. And there's this one guy, he was on there talking about, I'm still undecided because of the abortion issue. I'm like, how does that affect you?
And I hope nobody has children by him. With that comment, that's how it affects. Like I'm, it's putting a neon light on a lot of folk.
And I know how you and JaVonne have had this conversation about what's about getting us snipped. And I wonder if the tables were turned, if we were talking about us getting, our male counterparts.
Right.
At 18, it's like, you know what? Let's just sterilize young men until they're ready to have a child and then reverse it. How would that be?
Or sterilize it because your wife said she ain't ready to have a child.
Yeah, what would Ted Cruz say?
My form of birth control is going to be your sterilization. Because I don't feel like wearing a condom. I don't like the way it feels. But I can tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sterilize you until I'm ready to use you, and then that'll be it. How about we make the decisions on what you do with your body? Oh my goodness. That would be, I don't know, as an experiment alone, as a running joke alone, do you know how much that would not go down? The idea of it, we're not ready to have a baby as a couple. So, and if you have a baby, outside of your marriage, or if you have a baby and not married as a male, you have to serve some type of sentence.
Oh, wow. 6 months or something? Or no, 9 months. 9 months.
How would that fly? Can we vote on that? Can we talk about, because the reproductive rights, if you want to talk about it extensively anyway, they're more than just women. I mean, men are included.
Think about us, Rezi. A woman has 9 months. I can go out there spreading my seed all around. I can have 15 kids in 1 year.
Yep. Easy. Because you don't have to do nothing but nothing.
Yeah, just procreate. And it's okay.
Imagine that, though. Imagine that, just that scenario. And then the women can't have abortions. Where they do that at? You can procreate. You can have 20 kids. Shit, hell, my father had 2 children at the same time.
Yeah.
Damn near 3 months apart.
More white men and yeah, because now because JaVonne, they're becoming less of the majority now.
Man, listen. You don't get to govern any woman. Period.
No. And what boggles me, because I think I brought up last week, we come from women. Hello. and this whole ideology of these, and I'm talking to my brothers, my black and brown brothers, how you have an issue of trying to vote for Kamala Harris.
That's misogyny
At its best.
Those are the little boys that didn't like to listen to their moms, that have issues with women, you know. Because remember, you know, we still got a lot of men out there that liked the girl, but the girl didn't like them, and it scarred them for life. So you had some that ran off and made a whole lot of money and stood on their wallets to get the girl, and the other ones are still somewhere hating in the corner, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, there's some deep-seated stuff going on where women are concerned. Like you want to respect and protect them up until a point. You know, you don't want them telling you nothing. You still believe that men essentially make all the decisions, you know, and like anybody in business at least knows that you have a strong partnership and that handles different things. Like everybody's got a president, a vice president of their home. Even if the male governs the home, you can't do that by yourself. You can't do it by yourself.
And fellas, it's okay for the woman to have the big piece of chicken now. It's okay.
Now that is a cultural inside joke. Now, see, so for y'all that know what that means, you know what that means.
Yeah, so, and if you don't know, ask your mama.
See,
So,
ask your mammy.
Ask your mammy, your mama, you know.
Wow.
And I'm for me, and I can only speak for me, I was raised by strong, beautiful, phenomenal women, and I still keep these phenomenal women around me. I.e. JaVonne and Terez. I have a whole list of strong women. I have a sensitive side and my other side. I don't have a problem crying.
See?
So, you know, it's a level of respect here, no matter what. So.
Facts. We had a lot of interesting things happen this week. I want to give a shout out to the New York Liberty.
Oh,
bringing home a championship. Yes, New York Liberty. And what I liked about it the most too is that, you know, the New York women, they're like what's the good word for it? They're like a culture already, you know, and again, like once again, I want to talk briefly about the salaries because, you know, it's time to really get that equity, you know, in place, you know, and I know that the NBA's got more momentum and the WNBA is a younger league. However, it's time to start treating women accordingly, you know, and really making sure that the salaries are reflected there. Because it's worth it, you know. The fandom, the classic, the legends that came out to support. Shout out to Teaspoon, she was in the building, you know, looking and feeling marvelous, you know, and still well revered here as she will always be our
always Liberty. This is her
home,
her kingdom. Yeah, this is her. We will always hold her up. Teaspoon, right. We got you, baby.
We got you, baby. Yes. Regardless of where you go, we always gonna be. This is always gonna be your home. So you come back here and you celebrate and get celebrated and get loved on, and deservedly so. She did a thing in there.
I probably got to try to reach out to her, see if she wants to come and have some fun in the basement.
Yeah, we should. We absolutely should. Yeah. And then, you know, what I liked about it is that, you know, when you're good, you're good. And when you treat people well, you know, it resonates, and Angel Reese was in the building here in New York, and I was just hoping there wouldn't be no drama, because sometimes when you it's an interesting thing, like you have a job and you're somewhere uh hobnobbing with someone that they weren't connected to anymore, and then when you get back to work, folks are acting funny style. Y'all can act funny if you want to. Y'all made the decision, the dumb decision, didn't make any decisions, so live with it. You're mad, stay mad. That's it. You cannot stop relationships because folks are gonna be where they're gonna be, and they're allowed to be where they're gonna be. So I'm gonna watch that just carefully because my gut just started twitching on something. But shout out to the Liberty, well done. They had their parade,
Thursday. Yep, Thursday
Yeah.
at the canyon and stuff like that. So shout out to them. But hey, I think it's a prelude of what's about to happen.
I pray so.
But I'm happy that they're what they're doing. They're gonna help the next set of young girls that are out there that want to play b-ball, and they're helping them to break the curse of not getting paid and traveling on privates and being so they've opened that door. Like we know in our ancestors, they've done this for us to get here.
Right.
Goes back again to Kamala Harris again. But what I've learned, Rezi?
What's that?
She was our president for like a couple of hours.
She was.
A lot of people don't realize that when he went to go get his colonoscopy.
Yep.
She was sworn in, people.
Yes, she was. Not playing. So she, so that's another piece on the resume. Temporary president. I don't know what they call it, but they were president, president nonetheless. Yeah. She has been both the president and the vice president, technically. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's some real stuff. That's some real stuff. So stop playing. Stop playing.
I don't know.
Also, talk about, and you talk about distractions from this to prevent anxiety. We're not saying distractions to not, pay attention to it, but just some things you can ease your spirit as we get closer. We're day 10 now. As we get closer to this election, for those of us that suffer from some anxiety and the energy in the air, what are some other things? Yeah, me too. What are some other things that they can do? Folks can do. Suggestions.
I'd go back and read a book. Read a book. Do something like go out. Go for a walk in the park. Go for a ride in the bus. Do something. To break the monotony of something. Like I had to come to Atlanta for a second, other than for work, but also, Rez, this is like a refuge for me for a second, just to go, because it's like 86 degrees here today.
Ooh, nice.
And it's quiet time for me to just like relax, relate, and release. I know some people can't do that, but try to find some type of refuge or something. Even if it's eating a piece of chocolate or watching a favorite show to make you laugh or something, take yourself out of that equation for just a couple of moments, just to bring back your own self-enjoyment.
Right. I was sharing earlier that, I've started listening to more gospel music, only because, music, and I play it at disrespectful levels in my home. So it's
well, I know that. Yeah. So.
So you really can't talk to me while that's going on. You can sing with me and you can, shout with me, but you can't talk to me during that time. And like, I need to do things that I've discovered, rather, that I need to do things that it's hard to interfere with. Like if I went to a movie, like if I went to go see Whitney's movie that y'all all
which we got so much admiration for Wednesday. And tomorrow is the last day it's going to be in theaters. Okay. It's an afternoon show. They still have a few tickets left. But a lot of people that went Wednesday are going back again Sunday.
Why don't they run it more? They need other days. They need.
We want to just everything is set up. Yeah, tomorrow in theaters. What's so funny is Pat, Gary, and we're going in the sit back so we can hear the audience reaction.
Nice.
In a theater out here in Georgia and stuff like that. I was able, I think I reached out to a lot of people. They went out Wednesday, and I thank everybody that, went to support. If you stay there for a little while, you may see, somebody's name in the credits. But,
nice.
take that break. Go see a Whitney Houston concert film. Real quick. If you want some music in your life, if you just want to dance with somebody or whatever, get so emotional or whatever, or love will save the day or whatever the case may be, let her take you to that new level. And again, another woman that's bringing you to the forefront.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you can't, and you won't be interrupted. Like I know if I go out, I bear the chance of running into somebody who wants to talk about I don't want to talk about it. Like when I want to give myself a break, I want to break.
Oh, so
usually for me, it's music, it's a movie, it's something that requires, people not to talk.
Fun. You know what? Good morning, Black Anonymous. Rezi, I want to take it back to my high school where I would just get up, lace my skates, and go to a rooftop.
Ooh.
Or go to skate. Go for go roller skating. Do something.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, people. Just put this down for a second.
Oh, okay.
And get into the art of conversation, because for me, Rezi, we've been together, for me and with me and my brotherhood, when we go out and hang out, we literally put the phones in the middle of the table and we have the art of conversation.
Nice.
The art of conversation, hey, what's up with you? What's going on? How are you feeling? Because we're in front of each other. So I can tell if you're not, what's going on.
Right.
And behind the scenes, Rezi and I are like that with each other. We're like, what's good? What's going on? Her and I text each other, but then from time to time, Rezi and I got to pick up the phone. I need to hear your voice, even though you're saying it on this.
Right.
But I need to hear you. And then the next thing is I need to see you. Because you can say, oh yeah, I'm good.
Bogle dance.
Yeah. So exactly. Call a friend. Do something. Yeah. Even go to the store, buy yourself some flowers or something. Do something for you. I don't know. Go blow bubbles with your kids. Go have fun. If you got children, just ride a bike. Do something.
Right. Something. You know what I'm looking forward to? I have two godchildren, and I want to babysit. You know what I mean? They just are the most loving things. They're twins.
They're delicious. I see them. You just want to eat them up.
Yes. Just go play. Go do something different. Babysit.
Oh no, Rezi, we can get you a whole bunch of kids, so you can be what, Mother Hubbard?
Okay.
Or Mother Goose. Look, we throw Noah in, we throw Clay in, we throw your godchildren in.
Yes. And I haven't. I gotta see Clay too.
He's a bundle of joy, Rezi. Oh, he's just the fat cheek. And he's so different from Noah. It's like he's the little brother, but I could see that he's going to be the big little brother.
They usually are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. Kids will definitely make a difference, and that's one of the reasons why, I said, usually when you get older, you downsize, right? But I want a big, spacious yard, because I want kid energy in it. You know what I mean? Just places where folks can run and play, and then the adults get their section. The kids' energy spaces have to collapse, though. And I can still
you'd be over there with the kids.
Yeah.
You and me both, because we act like I don't think children bring out the best.
They do.
Because I have 3 beautiful goddaughters now that are adults, but now they have kids, and it's so funny how they talk to me and they go, "God, Daddy, stop spoiling them." I'm like, I've done that with you 3. I'm having fun with my grandchildren now, so let me immerse myself into this.
Right.
And I
right.
love on them and they love on me because they call me Pop Pop. So,
Pop Pop. I love that.
Pop Pop, yeah. So,
Aw. And see, in their perspective of the world, sometimes when you want to hear just what it should be, straight no chaser, ask a child that's plugged in with some dope parents. Like I have some of my friends, or my extended family, I should say, are really dope parents. And they're spitting out some really dope children in the world, which I so appreciate when they, become part of the conversations that, like we'll have like adult hour and then they could sit in, for the first parts of it, to share what's going on in their world, and hopefully they will repeat that process with their friends, because community we have to get back to. Like, we just have to get back to a strong sense of community, and your kids have to have a fostered sense of community in their households so they know how to do community when they leave, Yeah. I like to get in my yard and water my plant. Hey, see
Good
what I'm
morning,
saying?
Kimberly. Yeah.
Good morning, Kimberly. Absolutely. Watering
Grow
your
some tomatoes, grow some cucumbers or something, Kimberly, in there, so I can come over and have a cucumber tomato salad with you.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
And Reggie, you'll agree with me that, like, in one part, like my cousin Amelia, she's such a great parent.
She is.
Because she's letting the kids be kids. She's exposing them to so much stuff. So when they get older, they can look back like, wow.
I love that. Yes.
Because she doesn't have Noah sitting in front of TV that much. She regulates his TV time, his iPad time. She gets him in sports and does this. She sits and talks to him. They have dinner together still.
See.
And she's only doing what was implemented to us when we were younger.
See, exactly. I loved watching. That's the one thing about social media that I do like. When people post things that they do with their children. My sister's good about that. Like, she has, her children are like wilderness meets sports meets education meets theater, like, and they'll post the different things that they're doing with their children, online. Amelia was great about that. I used to see her taking Noah to the games and him in his jersey, and like she's immersing him in life. And
he's playing football, baseball. He likes wrestling. He likes basketball. I mean, everything.
Right.
And Rezi, I know you've seen this, and this is not to disrespect any parents, where you have some kids where they're trying to get your attention. They're like, mommy. But then once they say your government name, then you pay attention. And I've seen stuff when I'm out, like, you're so into this. Pay attention to your child.
Run them outside with some of these leaves. I remember we had a big yard growing up, and my mother would raking the leaves in the yard would be part of our chores, even though she had hired people. But somehow or another, we always end up raking the leaves. But we'd make big piles so we could jump in them, Like,
yeah, and certain people of this age group, like us, before this time frame of brunch or live in the basement, let me tell you something. By 11 o'clock, I would be up. I would have breakfast, do my chores, and get ready so I can sit and watch Soul Train.
So,
Soul Train.
What I remember, Fat Albert, and it was two cartoons.
Fat Albert. Was it the Jacksons? Was it the Jacksons?
I think it was the Jackson 5, and then Soul Train would come on. Soul Train was like the last show.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, because I left out because I didn't watch American Bandstand that much, unless it was somebody, that interests me or whatever. But by then I can go outside and play until the lights came on. Right. And it's like, get out the house. You don't need to be in the house around grown folk.
Right.
Get out.
Let us be in here doing what we do, cooking, and you come back in. Yeah. That was I don't know what was it? Was that a subliminal handbook that households of color had? Because when you talk about culture, like the street lamps coming in, like if you say part of a sentence, we can repeat the end of it, and it's like, you'd be outside playing all day and you played, you found something to do, from hopscotch to Scully to you name it, it was there to do,
Kimberly, we brought that up earlier, the anxiety. So try to do something for the next 10 days to to de-stress yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You don't need no more information. We already know who it should be, right? I agree with that.
Yeah.
She also likes cooking with ingredients that she grew in her garden, and she likes sitting in the backyard in the evening with a glass of wine, a good book. Amen. Where you live? What state you live in, Kimberly?
All right, Kim.
Okay, it's like you got an oasis back there. You got your food, you got your wine, your book. What?
You're good, Kim.
Okay, like that's it. Playing okay, Black Anonymous, playing some of your favorite songs after 7, Jaka Khan, Aretha Frank. Listen, that's a whole listen. Anything
Black
I can
Anonymous,
sing and dance.
Black Anonymous. Now you know you saw that. Now if you come on this show, Shaka Khan should have came first before after 7, because JaVonne is going to get you later.
Wow. Nice. See, yeah. I've been playing a lot of Leandra Johnson. Because I do believe she does this on YouTube. If y'all want a treat, she does a version live of Deliver Me with the choir behind her. And it's live on you. Just punch in Leandra Johnson, Deliver Me, and the live version will come up where she's on a stage barefoot with braids in her hair. Baby, just do yourself a favor.
After this show, not now, but at 1:15.
Yes. You're gonna need to. I'll give you some prerequisites. You're gonna need to turn it up to disrespectful levels. Clear your house. Make sure you know your neighbors, because you're gonna need to hear it when she hits that second verse. You're going to need to be in an area where you can be free and clear. So don't have nothing in your hands. Just don't, just make sure that if you're listening to that, you can move around a little bit. But when she gets to that second verse, because it's different than the recorded version. So that, as it always is.
There's a gospel artist that I love, Nancy Jackson. She has a song called I'm Free. And Resi, they remix it and they have house versions of whatever. Because I can tell you, I used to listen to BLS, the gospel chant during the gospel. This song literally woke me up out of my sleep when I first heard it. And that's one of my favorite songs from her because she gets me going. So I may try to send it to you behind the scenes, but oh my gosh, she's singing. And she saw.
Now I wondered if I heard it.
You may have, yes. See, Nancy.
Oh, Maurette Clark. Okay. My oasis is in progress. I have some herb boxes with basil, rosemary, parsley, plotting on some flowers and other landscaping for next spring. Go ahead, girl.
Kimberly, where you at? Because we got to come over and have a little potluck.
You still didn't post that city, Kimberly.
Or give us your close proximity of where you at. Are you on the east side or the west side? Are you East Coast, West Coast? Where are you?
Right. She got her herbs, her peaches and herbs going on there. Nice. Parsley, very good. And you got some all of those herbs are great as medicinal properties too. The basil, rosemary, and parsley. I've been looking at a lot of that too, making particularly as we go into the cold and flu winter season, looking at herb combinations that can go in great mason jars for like natural remedies. Are getting them together now, like the oregano. If you have some of that, yes.
Oh, just and as a radio brethren, as what we do, just a shout out and our sympathies and condolences to DJ Clark Kent's family. Yes. He's now with the ancestors. We lost him on Thursday. Legendary.
Yes.
For the family from in the basement, sends our condolences to his family.
Yes.
Much love.
Rest in peace, legend.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Boy.
I'm not trying to make JaVonne mad. I love Shaka's voice. Okay.
Man, Shaka Khan, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta, like, I don't know, Pop. It seems like we are averaging a legend a week.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
It's a lot, and for me, I'm I'm very transparent. Like for me, I do therapy. I reduce it down now, but during the pandemic, I was talking to a therapist twice a week or whatever. And eventually there's an end game with your therapist. I hope people know that, because then you have to grow.
Right.
But at the time, my therapist explained to me at a certain age, death becomes more prevalent in your life compared to when you're younger.
Right. Right.
So it's like, okay.
Right.
And I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Understood. I understood. It just Mickey Grant had a song, Broadway legend composer Mickey Grant. She wrote, just as a reference, she wrote "Your Arms Too Short to Box with God" with Vinette Carroll. Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, Working. Well, just classic. She's no longer with us. She had a song. And one of the phrases of the song was death dropping on uncompleted lives. That was a verse, rather, in the song. And that stood out to me because at the time, I'd lost a friend by suicide when we were in high school. And, just thinking, how nobody saw it coming. In fact, she was like almost borderline the class clown. And how you reference a lot of that now with our comedians, because they have that up front, but behind a lot of comedians it's depression,
Yeah, they're very introverted because and I could use my uncle as example, because as a comedian, very outgoing, but when he was home, he was such an introvert. He was like, leave me alone. He'd be in his office a lot, very quiet times, unless he had family around him and stuff like that. But or he wasn't rah-rah, like going to the parties and all that other stuff. He was like, nope, I'm only coming out when it's necessary. So, and I get it.
And then by your uncle, we have to say we're talking about the legendary Flip Wilson.
Yeah.
Another one that I grew up watching,
Yeah. And then I was and I was lucky enough to grow up around him, knowing Red Fox, knowing Bill Cosby, knowing Sidney Poitier, knowing just the legends, Paul Mooney, just being around all of them in a room.
What?
And just like, oh
man, see, yeah, I used to watch. Like there were so many, and I'm grateful to my mom for sitting us in front of the television at a certain point in the 60s and 70s to be able to see some of that genius. You know what I mean? Paul Mooney I saw live several times, and Flip I've only seen on TV. But I remember that step he used to do backwards, and like just because there weren't a lot of us on
TV at the time. It was him and Diane Carroll at the time.
Yeah, and we had to watch them both. We had to see that. Whenever we saw people that were our reflection of ourselves, we were always in awe by it and inspired by it. From Nat King Cole to Diane Carroll to Flip Wilson, like they had early shows when people weren't even,
which opened the door for the Richard Pryor show, the Bill Cosby show. All that's like, oh,
yep.
Oh, thank you, JaVonne.
It is necessary. It had Geraldine on one side, Flip on the other. Yep.
And if you go if you go to the museum in DC, one of his Poochie dresses, one of the Geraldine dresses is encased in
the Washington Museum.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's off. Yep. I
still have not been. I gotta get out. You know, I didn't want to go while the rush was on to get in and whatever. And we had gotten at one point we'd gotten hit up. I think they were like kind of the early on they were petitioning folks for like their dresses. We got hit for Mo's wedding dress too. And that was earlier when they were doing the artifacts, and then they had to freeze it because they got an onslaught of artifacts that they couldn't sort in time. They didn't have enough people or something like that.
I've been 4 times, Rezi, and my thing is like you can't go one time.
Right.
You could start from the bottom, which is early, and all the way to the top floors and stuff like that. Now when I go, I just skip the whole slavery moment. Because you have a moment there and in the 60s and 70s and the current. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I would suggest the weekends are really good, but going on a weekday.
Right.
And wear good sneakers because you're going to be in there for 3-4 hours alone. Because you're gonna get emotional. So.
I'm sure.
And what's so funny is the second time I went, Amelia took Noah. When he was younger, and she's gonna take him back again.
See,
it's like Disney World and the museum. So
nice, yeah, exactly, exactly.
I know Kimberly said something about rosemary water or something like that, like for something. I know she posted. JaVonne, can you post it back up?
Yes, in DC.
Yeah, in DC. Yes, the African American Museum is in DC.
Yes, she's heard that rosemary water is a good way to internally cleanse.
Yes. And Kimberly, for me, the first thing I do in the morning is I have water by my bed, and I drink warm water in the morning. And sometimes I'll also do apple cider vinegar with mother, and cinnamon, but not just any cinnamon, the Ceylon cinnamon.
Ceylon,
Ceylon cinnamon and that, and woo, I'm free and clear.
You know what? Speaking of cinnamon, they have a recall. Please punch in before you purchase any cinnamon or before you use any more cinnamon in your cabinets. They had a recall on a lot of brands that were very familiar of cinnamon based on lead content. So please, please check that out. Before you continue to use or before you purchase. There was a cinnamon recall. Yes. And some of the familiar brand, I saw a few familiar brands. I was like, oh shit, so just check that out. But yes, cinnamon is cinnamon and what is the other one? Black pepper with a little bit of turmeric. Yeah.
Is wonders and some ginger.
Yep.
Because I go to Trader Joe's and they have these shots or whatever, but you can make your own at home and make your own little shots and stuff. You know, I'm going to post something today on my social media. It's called the flu shot, and it's like it's the perfect medication.
Okay. Yeah. And the good thing about doing your batches at home is you put them in a mason jar and you can take a shot, because what they're selling the shots for what, $10, $8 a shot?
Yeah.
So
that you can go do yourself at home if you take the time.
Right. And you put in a mason jar, and every morning you wake up, you shake your jar up, make sure all the ingredients are mixed. Because there's one that I love. I do that. You can feel it in your body. It's organic raw honey, turmeric, pepper, ginger, and cinnamon. Mix it all up. And I squeeze a little key lime in it as well. So to give it, because it's very thick. So when I mix it, put a little key lime in it, and I store it in the refrigerator, and I take it, this is a spoonful, a tablespoonful, and
watch what it does to you, people. It's like, because I may get sick maybe one every 3 years or whatever if I'm not, watching what I do. But I try to eat as healthy as I possibly can, and again, drink my water, mind my business. But it's hard, And the first thing, when I come in from home, I wash my hands.
Facts.
So,
yeah. Because
I've seen some people traveling like lately, like digging up their nose and touching bars and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, on the train, on the plane. It was so funny, Reggie. I could have caught a case on the plane coming in Thursday because Pat was with us. Yeah, because we're sitting there on the plane, and he probably was a Trump supporter. Sitting on a plane, and I turned around and I said, "You are one cough too many to be eliminated right now." I said, "If you don't cover your I kept telling, I said, "You are one cough too many for me."
Okay.
But then I asked the flight attendant, I said, "Could you give him a mask?"
Right. Were they able to do that?
They offered him a mask. He didn't take it.
Did he have anything? He just coughing out in the air?
He was coughing out, and then once he was like, he would do this a little bit, but I was like, that's not enough for me.
That doesn't shield anything.
No, and I was like, I said, right now, you're trying to kill me.
And here's the thing right now, because you know you're coughing when you leave the house, right? Bring a napkin, a tissue, something that you can cover your mouth with that'll catch those molecules.
Or do
like
this.
And if pinch comes to shove, lift your shirt and cough down in your, like something you need to do. You know what I mean? You just can't be coughing out in the air these days. People get hurt for that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, incite any violence, but that's the surefire way. That's why I can't, like I've been known to jump on a train or two moving real fast, but like I've been real cautious about my step because I just don't want to be around it, you know?
Yeah, Black Anonymous. I still carry hand sanitizer, and I do that during the course of the day till I get to some real soap and water.
Right.
And I know women go through this, you see, but there's nasty men in the bathroom too. Nasty men, because I will literally say, you ain't gonna wash your nasty mother freaking hands.
Ew.
And firstly, for men, I don't know if you're listening. I was told this years and years ago. We're really supposed to wash our hands before we pee and after, because we have outer equipment. So we suppose, because you're touching everything, and if you're touching your equipment.
But think about the process. Like if you think about it, you're going into you're touching the door to go into the bathroom. You're touching the door to go into the stall. You're touching your business. Then you're retouching the door. So that stall handle is bananas with germs.
But I like to, if it's not the one where you kick or touch or whatever. And I've been with people where like they wait, like I still grab a napkin. I don't believe in the air thing. I grab me a napkin and I will pull the door open. And I've been on elevators where there have been people, could you push? Like, no. Because they don't want to touch things. And then I've also found out some were like religious reasons, like, oh, I can't. I was like, okay, but then you're not going to go to your floor. Then you go right up and down this elevator with me.
Yeah,
like I've been in places where could you, like, I don't work for you.
The elevators, it's easier for me because I usually have my car keys in my hand, or I'll pull them out to tap the buttons or something like that. Just general stuff, Yeah. But the worst door ever is that bathroom stall, because that's right after you do what you do, and you usually your hands aren't washed at that point.
And Rezi, recently, about a week ago, I was at, and I don't mind saving money, I was at Lots for Less, right? They had the microban. They had the microban. I bought 4 bottles of the microban because even if during the winter, and people, you might mindless wipe down your remotes, wipe down your kitchen counter, wipe down your microwave, wipe down the handles on your doorknobs and your refrigerator. Even though if you're the only one in the house, still wipe it down.
Yeah. Because when you come inside, you're bringing in everybody you came in contact with. Another thing is your shoes in the house. Like we have. I have Rezi. If you come by now, because I go to so many hotels, I take the slippers from the Four Seasons, and now I have a basket right by the door. You take your shoes off, and you can take a complimentary thing of slippers. all over. We got baskets, we got bins. All the sneakers, they stay out, in the space.
Mhm.
We'll wear flip flops that we don't like go outside in, around
Mhm.
the house because, mostly it's wood floors, and I don't like cold feet. Or I wear
Mhm.
socks or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to be cautious this time for you know.
Yeah. I was just on a trip out of town. Put that back up, JaVonne. I noticed a few people not washing their hands after. It's that's yes, nasty, Kimberly. Just nasty. Who's like
Queener
nasty?
wiener.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had a shout out to Kent. I'm not gonna say your last name, but he was of the like-mindedness. Whenever he would go into the men's room at work, he would come
Mhm.
back out and he would have his face screwed up deliberately. He'd be like, and he would tell the guy, "Yo, son, you didn't wash your hands. Go wash your
Mhm.
hands." He would say that, to the point where initially people would complain about him, but they stopped because how crazy do you look complaining about somebody asking you to wash your hands after you come out of the bathroom?
Mhm.
You know?
And lately, like if I'm meeting people, like even if like I do the fist bump now,
Mm,
I really don't
mhm.
shake your hand anymore.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I make a whole project of wiping doorknobs. And yeah, exactly. And those and if you want to go to lots for less or Five Below or whatever, those packs of wipes are cheap. They're reasonable. I have them all around. I have them in the kitchen. I have them in the bathroom.
Mm,
I wipe down my toilet. I'm the only one that lives in my house, but I still clean everything
right,
because
right.
my aunt used to come by my house and say, "Who lives here?" I guess she wanted my house to smell like corn chips and dirty socks. but, but
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Oh, because even when I left, for me, I left Thursday, but Thursday morning I get up very early before the flight and I change my linen. But that's something that was instilled in me since a kid. When I was cleaning the house every Saturday, I would change my linen. And to
Mm,
this day, I still do it.
mm. That's a good habit.
I change,
Okay.
unless I make a mess during the middle of the week, then I change them in. But that's a whole nother, yeah.
Yeah.
I was raised to wash my hands after using the bathroom. And if I didn't, I'm sure my grandmother would, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know whether it's a cultural thing. It's more cultural for us, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It just doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense. When you're teaching kids to do it, it becomes, a programming of sorts for them. You know, I just don't, I just think that it needs to be like, I would get the industrial size Clorox spray and go around
Mhm.
spraying the different doorknobs and let them drip dry, not in the house, but in my workplaces. And
Yeah.
folks would be like, "Oh, the doorknobs are wet." Pick and choose your arguments with me, really.
Yeah. And
You
when
know?
you clean and when you're cleaning, please open your windows because the
Yeah.
toxins and that stuff, because I like I go to Home Goods. There's this. Oh wait, Pat has it too. Let me bring it. I love this. Hold on.
Shout out to Pat and Gary. Ooh, okay.
It's vinegar and eucalyptus oil, multi-purpose cleaner.
See, that eucalyptus oil is everything.
I
Yep.
buy when I go to Home Goods and I see a whole bunch of them. I buy more than one because I spray
Mm.
this like the hot sauce. I spray this shit over everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I've
and it's
never
and it's
used it. I
it
gotta
says
get
it on
some of
this
that.
thing. Yeah, and Home Goods sells it, and it's only $3.99.
Okay.
That's a less cost of a chicken sandwich.
I like the eucalyptus oil though. That I love.
Yeah, yeah.
That I love.
So
Shout out to Pat and Gary for sure.
yeah. So yeah, people clean, just clean.
Yeah.
Changing
Yeah.
sheets was a part of our Saturday morning house. Yeah, of course. It's again, it's a cultural thing sometimes. I mean, there's some people that send their sheets out to go get cleaned, or I've one thing I've always wanted to. And people don't bombard my DMs. I love doing laundry. I get off on laundry. I love folding, and I think if I retire, I want to open up a laundromat.
Mo loves laundry too.
I love it because one thing that irks me is like when people just throw their stuff in the bag without folding it. I fold up my underwear a particular way, my t-shirts.
I hate laundry.
No, but then the other part is then there's I noticed the after dark, but there's also a freaky part because I can tell a lot about you if I'm washing your clothes.
Oh, well, yeah.
But it's very therapeutic for me. You know, in college, I got paid like some people like, oh, I'll do your laundry, pay me this. Yeah. Especially underwear. Yes.
I like washing sheets and towels and stuff. I don't. No, I actually no. Strike that. I like washing towels and washcloth and stuff like that. But I really don't. I think that was part of my my thing growing up as a kid. I was always assigned that chore.
But Rezi, and I'm going to be again transparent again today. When I go to hotels, the only thing I do take is like I take the white washcloths because in my home, maybe I'm a little anal with this. I wash my face with white washcloths, but I wash my body with a different washcloth. I don't. Some people don't do that. I understand the loofah sponge or whatever. That's cute and all, but no.
That's only if you're getting rid of, like, if you want to exfoliate. That's not
And for me being a thick dude, I like to lift and scrub. So, because, what's that old joke? Fat and funky don't mix or whatever and stuff like, no, it don't. And thin and smelly either, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
Because I remember Serena Williams had to introduce her husband to a washcloth.
You'd be surprised at how many people of different cultures do not. Yeah, they get in the shower and they just, and I was reading something. No, I'm sorry, not reading something. I'm listening to something very recently that said you should not wash your body every day because of the oils that need to, like, it's like something about how the skin or something it had a lot to do with the skin's protection and washing away oils that are healthy for your skin, I sat with that for a minute and I was like, no, I don't think that's gonna work.
And there's some, and Rezi, you've been around them too, because we're industry people. We've been around some people that they need to run a rag through it. I'm not naming names because I'm not going to do that because the view's here, but some people, but some celebrities have voice that they don't bathe regularly, like Ashton Kutcher, him and his wife, they don't bathe their kids, but every 3 days. That again, that's for them. Don't invite me to your house.
That would depend a lot on lifestyle, because if you're like okay, so I've been at home, like when I haven't gone anywhere, or let's say it's a weekend and I'm doing other stuff in the house and I don't even get out of my pajamas. But I can't imagine not brushing your teeth or minimally washing your face. You know what I mean? Like, it's like just stuff happens when you sleep. You just, and for women, you just need to really handle that. Now, sitting around, like in it, stewing in it, I don't know what that means, to a certain degree, but it just feels weird.
And we know some people get off on smells like skunks and dogs sniffing, but no.
Now, in certain cultures, what do they call that? Pheromones.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Are sexy.
Yeah, but if anybody also trying to slide up to talk to me, if you're very hairy, keep it moving. I do not like hairy people.
My first experience in Paris on the subway, I got on early in the morning. Now, mind you, it's very clean system. The metro is very clean. At that time, I haven't been in years, but the smell on these
Horrendous.
freshly dressed, crispy white shirt wearing folk that smelled like, I was literally on the train like this, like, what is, like, you're looking around and you really can't spot it with your eyes because everybody's crispy and fresh. But, you know, I was like, wow, this is actually a thing. Like, this is,
Are you wearing onions under your arms?
Yeah, listen, it was thick, Pop. It was so thick, I thought I was swallowing it.
Oh, I know, Rezi, and you know, you and I've traveled internationally because there's some countries like in Russia, I think, is this the same cologne that y'all all wear, but it's not cologne?
It's not cologne. It's pheromones, it's body scent.
Yeah,
You know,
and
the
you know, we've been in
stronger
cars.
the more.
I worked with a French guy a long time ago, and he was a nice man, but he was right. Oh, right. Ooh, I haven't heard that word in a long time. I don't think I believe in daily showering and using deodorant. I get that part, but at least brush your teeth. If you don't want to use deodorant, then put some baking soda up under your arms or something if you can.
No, they want the scent. They said the scent is for men. The scent is, you know,
women or attracts
animal. It's animal.
No. That's disgusting.
Yeah, no. And then now they're using Lumi. Don't wash. Just put something over it.
Oh, I've seen those commercials, JaVonne.
Oh,
because you see that girl. She said, "Have you seen that commercial, Rezi, with a girl?" She said, "Other than my, there's other parts of my body that smell other than my armpits."
Yes, but the Lumi you have to wash. It's a wash. It's a body wash.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it is. It's like an acidic. It's actually it's good. It's thick. It maintains a lot. We have it here, but I don't understand. Don't wash.
Right. Again, I'm being so transparent today. I don't know where this comes. I remember as a young boy, and I was so young, my knees, and culturally, you know, crawling on knees or whatever, my grandfather had put me, you look back now, it's child abuse. He put me in a tub one time and he scrubbed my knees with Comet.
Whoa. Okay, so you said your grandfather.
My grandfather, who was from Richmond, Virginia, he was like, I don't like your knees. Either you're taking a bath or you're not scrubbing your knees. He went in there and scrubbed me thoroughly.
Let me tell you something. Knees and elbows, the dark, pigments, you know, were a big thing. They're a big thing. And see, and you're not, and you're just a step away from being pink, just a step away. And I could see where that, because my grandmother was the same way. You know, she would look at knees and elbows and things like that. But and she used to, and you said grand, so this is funny because she used to, when we'd be in the tub, you know, because they didn't have a shower in my family house growing up. They had big clawfoot the bathtubs.
Yeah.
You know, no, I'm sorry, they did have a shower. We just didn't take showers. Yeah. No, I'm looking up now and I see the thing hanging. Okay, so we didn't take the showers. They put the kids in the tubs, but she used to come by and put Clorox in the water while we were in the bathtub.
Like a little capful.
Yep.
But Rezi, wait, I'm gonna rewind back. You said, I love the tubs with the claws. Oh my! Now that was a tub. Now that was a good bathtub.
Yeah.
That could hold a 400 or 500 pound man in the tub.
Well, she would put, you know, it's so funny because you know, it was three of us. And in retrospect, you think about a lot of things, but I remember growing up, my mother used to bathe all three of us at the same time. I hated it because I've always been a little skittish. I'd be standing up because I swore the water with my brother and sister was dirty and I didn't want to sit in it. I'd be standing up. So she spent a lot of times popping me with the wash rag, telling me to sit down, and I'd be, you know, but
because you're sitting in that swill.
Yeah. But she would definitely, you know, she would definitely save time, money, you know, single parent at that point. And you know, get us all together.
You all together, take care of you all. And now when you get older, you realize, take a bath for 15 minutes and then you run that shower.
Yep. Clean it out, run that shower, rinse off in the shower. Yes. So that's, wow. Such an interesting perspective when you look at it later on and wonder where your habits came from. They slapped Vaseline on my knees and elbows. Yep. So did. My mother would stand at the door in this season with castor oil or sometimes cod liver oil. And she'd stand at the door. So when we were on our way out, we'd have to open our mouths and she'd put it in.
And make sure you swallowed it.
Yep. Walked out the door. And I cannot remember being home with colds or, like nasty, but, she made sure we got it, Faces were just enough Vaseline on it so the wind don't cut your cheeks up. And you walk.
It would sound like, yeah.
Now, what we did
for chapstick, there was Vaseline.
Yes, still is Vaseline.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And it's funny. One thing we did not do that she did not allow, and I don't know if this was an East Coast thing or what, but you know how kids would put the powder on and you could see it when you came outside, like powder on. She did not allow that
during the summertime because it makes sure you kept cool.
Because
remember, Resi, they used to have shower to shower powder.
Yes. But you know how the kids would just always want to look freshly showered. So that was a thing at some point. So they'd have the powder all over their, their
all
chest.
over right there. Yeah.
Mother did not allow that. She'd be like, if you don't sit down with that, in fact, leave my powder right over there. And now years later, we got Johnson & Johnson having a talc settlement for all those years of
Isn't it interesting how we reflect on things our parents and yeah, you do. You do, Kimberly. You really do.
And how similar a lot of the things were that got us through, Now some things would be labeled as child abuse. Some things would be labeled as what are you talking about? But, again, we can look at our needs.
All every day. Yep, exactly.
Really got sick. And it's still available and it's still doing the same thing with same properties. Like I even take castor oil and I do internally, if you put it on your belly button, your navel area, and sleep with it, it has properties there too. Not cod liver, castor oil. The castor and I put the castor oil on my skin. It's Go Back to Eden. There used to be a book actually called Back to Eden, and it has a lot of stuff in there that is still relevant. And I think that we've gotten too far away from a lot of the stuff, the home remedies that serve us, because I am grateful to a lot of my elders, at least my mother's side. They never took us outside of their kitchen, Like I had literally had 3rd-degree burns on my face and on my hands, and it was cured in my grandmother's kitchen, where I didn't have any scars. And they were again, being a greedy boots, decided I was going to, on the day we were supposed to get on the plane, my mother's cooking something in a pressure cooker. And I decided, the old school pressure cookers had 2.
And
that little whistle at the top that was heavy. Yeah. And I snatched it, and she told me to let the pot, turn it off. It was my instruction, and walk away. Just turn that pot off. I turned it off and decided I was going to open the pot. So, the pressure was still very high, and that lid popped off when I twisted, and it landed, the steam landed in my face, and the pot itself landed on my hand. Took the skin off both. So she stopped doing hair to take me to the hospital. And our flight was later on that day. So now I'm sitting up in the hospital with burns and stuff, and wrapped me in gauze. But I'm still getting on that plane going down south. and she put me on it, with sent me to her parents. And when I got there, I remember them sitting me in the kitchen, looking at me, all 3 of them. Because it was my grandmother and her 2 sisters. So my grandmother and her great aunts. And they were like, well, baby, what did you do? And they're looking around. And, I was told I had to keep the wraps on and everything else. I'm going to tell you, 2 days later, they were like taking them wraps off and in their cupboard making stuff, And by the time I went back home for my first medical appointment, which was over a month, I didn't have any scars.
Wow. Okay.
Done. You can't even tell that I was actually burnt. Like literally burnt in I had no forehead skin. That was the second time I did that.
Those
Yeah.
old remedies, I like those stabs and all that. Like,
They were in their kitchen.
Real quick, I know we're going back to the. I just got a text from my boy Jay. He's like, the line for early voting is halfway down the block.
Wow.
Coming out to vote, but this is a lot. And I text back, keep your ass on the line.
Nice. So today was the first day for
New York and Jersey. So I'm glad that the lines are down the block. You know, and the weather I think in New York is pretty nice. So stay out. If it's sweater weather, put a scarf on.
Yeah, that's true. Socialize, meet your peoples.
Yeah, and that's when you have fun. You stand there, talk, have a good time, play a little music, you know, whatever.
Just no fighting.
Get to know your play cousins.
Yeah, okay. And make sure that when you
got to vote for Auntie Kamala, or Auntie or whatever you want to call her.
Yes. And make sure that when you come out, if you have to do any provisional voting, just check your ticket stubs to make sure that it says what it says. You need to see a receipt that says Kamala Harris on it.
Yep.
Make sure, just don't let them give you a piece of paper and you walk away thinking you know what you pulled. Just make sure.
Oh, now it's about putting them into the machine. So, and make sure no one else touches that ballot except you putting it into the machine. And you have to watch it go in, and you have to watch that little wheel go around until it goes, boop, your vote is counted. Do not leave. And if there's a problem, there are people in the precincts that can help you. Do not leave with all that stuff being checked.
Right.
You know.
So just take your time. Take your time, in other words. Don't be Speedy Gonzalez. And get your sticker.
And wear it proudly.
That's right.
Yes, people were saying the names.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The names will switch. And they were saying people were getting receipts. You know, the thing back that didn't even have, you know, you go and vote for one person, and of course it would show up for somebody else. So people had to do some correction. Yeah. It's a lot of shenanigans going on in these streets. So that's
I see yesterday about the swing states are starting to act up already.
That's why I said you got to slow it down. I know that we're in a rush to get to these polls and to cast our votes for her, but slow it down to make sure that you're getting what you came there for. You know,
and also people do not use your cell phone to show that, oh, I'm voting.
Right.
I think it's against the law in certain states or whatever.
Yes. Just put the phones down. When you get out, show us your sticker.
Show us your sticker. That's how I've early voted. You use your right.
Cell phones in the phone booths because they'll disqualify. Looking for any reason to cast you out.
Yep.
Yes, any reason. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. We'll know you voted. You know, don't give it. And if they say your name is not on the list, or they say for some odd reason you ain't registered, ask for a provisional ballot, which is your right to have. Ask for it. Ask for a supervisor in some case.
There's a little church near my home where I go to vote. I go early and okay. There you go. And I have this thing now that they sent me, Terez, that it's the speedy thing where you just like a QR code. So I use that now when I go.
What's that?
It's in New York. They sent it to me in the mail.
And what is it?
It has all my information on it. So when I check in, it's like, okay, my information pops right up and I just have to sign.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. They don't have that. I've never seen that over here, but I will definitely ask. I just screenshot, go on and I screenshot it and I show it to them because it has my numbers on it.
Yeah, my job is giving. Well, normally a presidential election, it's normally a lot of things are closed that day, Kimberly. I know that. Every 4 years, I think like a lot of stuff is closed, so everybody can go vote. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be giving you off because there should be almost like a little holiday or something.
And people, I don't know if you realize, I grew up like November 4th is Black Solidarity Day.
Yeah, let's
I
all
live
be
in Georgia.
solidarity.
Oh, Kimberly, you out here? I'm out here this weekend. So she's in
Ah,
Georgia. Okay.
please pay attention to the people you're voting for down ballot too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And flip
Yeah.
and flip the ballot over. There's some other things over there too.
Mm-hmm.
In your states and stuff like that. Pay attention
Right.
to people you're voting for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you're going Dem, go Dem all the way down.
And don't let nobody go with you into the poll from the polling station to try to go, do you know how to vote and blah, blah, blah. Do you need help? Because they try that with some of the young people if it's their first time voting.
Mm.
They'll make suggestions like, oh, just circle that one right there.
Yeah.
It's all the shenanigans.
No, and you cannot. Yes, thank you. And they're putting a lot of misinformation out. They're saying that you can vote online and you cannot vote online.
The only thing you can vote online is for People Choice Awards. Yes,
Be sure to go online and check your registration, especially if you're in a swing state. Amen. Yep.
And bring ID. Bring ID with you also. So there's no reason for you got to get off the line. Let's prove that who you are, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you nothing. And here's the thing: if you go early and you do have a full party, you can always go back, but do not wait till November 5th to go and have these hiccups. That's why, go early, get it out the way, because if the lines are going on now, they're going to be going on November 5th.
And a shout out to former President Jimmy Carter. He 100 years old. He already early voted.
See, he said actually that was what he's living to do. God bless him. Jimmy Carter wasn't a bad president.
No, if they look at
Oh.
What's everybody's plans for the rest of this weekend other than Sunday going to go see the Whitney Houston South African Durban film?
Yes.
At
what else
in the afternoon? Well, because you can have a whole day plan in New York and New Jersey. You can go vote early, go to the movies, and then walk in the park, get some ice cream, get something, and then come home and relax and watch the games and do whatever and get ready for Monday.
What time is the movie in the theaters here? Do you know?
1:00. It's an early show. All the theaters are 1:00 for Sunday.
Ooh, 1:00.
1:00. Like
1:00.
So you can go to the movies and go to brunch, or go to brunch before. Yes. And if y'all follow me I will post on my social media later and tomorrow, just reminding you. 1 p.m. Yep. Thank you, JaVonne. Yeah.
Nice. Go see Nip early.
Get it out the way. We'd appreciate it. Support.
Yes.
So thank you. The rest of my weekends, I'm going to enjoy Georgia for a minute.
Georgia. 86 degrees.
Which theaters? They're in a lot of theaters, JaVonne. A lot of them are in New York and AMC theaters, Regal theaters. There is I should know the website by hand. It's like Whitney Houston South Africa.com. You can go on there and it'll bring you to the portal where it'll just help you find the theaters near you.
Wouldn't Fandango do that as well?
Oh yeah, we have a thing with Fandango. So you go to Fandango, search Whitney Houston, and it shall pop up. So go right to Fandango, JaVonne. Yeah, and they'll help you. They will lead you. We will lead you to the water. We use every known thing to man to get everybody to go out. Yeah.
Nice. These fools are trying to say that the votes had to be counted by hand before they could certify them in Georgia. Can you? Yeah. See.
Yeah. They're doing that there, and they're going to do that in Pennsylvania too, Kimberly. And I wonder if those two women that got Giuliani's stuff, they're going to help count votes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you really need to stop playing with folks,
Because what you do in the dark does eventually come to the light. So, I believe it.
Oh, you said you believe it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, can you imagine? Because then you'd have to watch. That's what kind of process would that be? And I would not want to be one that I'd be like, oh, because that's a lot.
Mhm.
It's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, but they're trying. Wow.
And honestly, Terez, I think, like I said, I think sometimes some of these Republicans,
Mhm.
they're being quiet. I think again behind the scenes, they're gonna vote for her.
Of course, because
Yeah.
honestly, somebody had a good point. Because this is it hit, glowworm is not and his supporters are not quote unquote traditional Republicans. They're MAGA.
No, that's that
So
MAGA,
that's
yeah, that MAGA group. Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
yeah, they've created a whole renegade subculture calling under the guise of Republican, and not even a lot of the Republicans want to deal with them. You know what I mean? It's like they're just too, and it's not making any sense. And quite frankly, some of the traditional Republicans, like the Cheneys, are saying, what, they're an embarrassment. I'm not voting
Yeah.
for him. They don't want him there because he's just like, no, they don't want him there. And I'm happy that, a lot of the families were speaking out, because I mean, not for nothing. It's like, okay, we're going to play the game, but let's just play the game the way the game is supposed to be played, the good old boy game,
Yeah.
this crap y'all doing. We didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
levels to this ignorance. We
Yeah.
didn't do that,
Mhm.
but I don't know. That's the part. She's uniting the parties. Yeah. Well, I mean, uniting the parties, or it's just like, or everybody in every party isn't ignorant, because again, on paper, I'm gonna lay down the last 5 presidents. She's still stronger than all of them on paper.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, she's got more of a diverse experience, and qualified to do the job, from a lot of different levels. And on top of being, having the community part of it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people want to unite the country. And then some parts of the country needs to die. Real talk. Like there's just some parts of this country that just don't serve the people anymore and never did. And as long as those are alive and well, we're gonna have an issue. Like we need to we really need to grow up or get rid of these good old boys because
Yeah.
they're not, they just don't do it for anybody. And fear mongering is not something that we're going to do. And yes, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of WJBR Internet or its affiliates.
Mhm.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, get yourself some balance. Right, Chulo? Like get yourself some balance. You always I live for your balance.
I love my self-care. I was out Kimberly, I was at Jeju Spa last night.
Okay. See?
Sitting in the salt sauna and the cold sauna. I was just immersing myself into woosah.
See, you got to get you some woosah. It doesn't make sense to work yourself into a hole and then you die. Like
because I'm so looking forward. Like Terez and JaVonne know this already. If y'all don't know, Halloween is my Christmas.
Yes.
So this year I'm going as a warlock. Rezi, I'm ready. I got everything needed. I'm getting my nails painted black with the skulls on it. I have a skull walking stick. I found the fedora hat with the skulls and bones on top. I'll post pictures, but I'm all in. I know I can't top last year, but I'm going to try my best.
Oh my God, last year was amazing.
Yeah, and New York is going to be like almost 80 degrees on Halloween. So
yeah, we're slipping back into like I think we're not going to get our first blast of Arctic air until like sometime mid to late December. I think.
You think so? You think it's going to be a warm Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I do. Like seasonably warm, but warmer, not 80s, but because we have the dips and dives, and that's what gets you caught out there because you run out and you have your hoodie on, and you take it off, and then at night it'll drop. But like right now, it's a really nice temperature outside.
even though I'm in Atlanta, I'm still wearing like a long sleeve shirt, but I wear shorts.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
some army fatigue shorts or whatever, not thin shorts, but and thick socks, and like I can always appeal. Like,
Right.
you know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I agree, Kimberly. Yeah, it's exhausting, Black and yeah, it is. And Kimberly, yes, yeah, we're tired of the chaos and the rhetoric.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to we're exhausted. We are exhausted with this whole thing. I can't wait for it to be. I can't wait for the ads. I can't wait for the Texans to stop coming over to me. I've donated enough.
How did Kamala get my number? It was so funny that now we're starting to make jokes about it. Shout out to Oscar James, hairstylist. Oscar James. He was like, he posted, by the way, how did Kamala get my number? We started laughing, and then people were chiming in. It was like, yeah, Kamala calls me more than my kids. But yeah, like listen, she knows how important this stuff is. And yes, that messaging is right on time. And
I get the cold calls all the time, but when I see a spam call, my trick is I never say hello. I start singing. And if you want to get through, if it's a real person, they'll say something like hello. I'm like, okay. Because you don't want them to get your voice for AI or whatever, like hello, or asking you, how are you doing? I'm good, blah, blah, so.
Right. Oh, that's a good, I just don't answer it.
I have fun with it. I'm like, oh, well, I can't use the phone. Your mama's here doing something to me. So.
What? Not my mama. Oh God. Thank you for that. And laugh.
People, we had such a good time. JaVonne, we want you to get better, feel better. You're just a little under the weather.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Rezzy, it's always fun playing in the sandbox with you.
Absolutely.
And I'm just a little note. Gigi, we missed you this weekend.
Yes, she's in the woods. Carry it on. We're gonna hear about that.
Okay, well, she's having a good time. Okay. Be safe out there, Gigi.
Off the grid, yes. We want to hear about it, Gigi, when you come back.
And we know next week's show, we're gonna really push again because that's the last show before Election Day.
Nathan's coming through. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
It'd be good to have him and Gigi and everybody else, and everybody that's watching. Just tell 5 friends to tune into next week's show. It's so important. Important.
Yes, and for you early voters, stay on the lines.
Yep.
Take care of one another.
Yep.
And vote for Kamala.
Yep. Vote blue all the way down the ballot.
There we go.
You possibly can. Well, Rezzy, this was fun. JaVonne, everybody in the basement, be safe. Wash your hands. Go vote. And see you next week.
Yeah. See you next week.
Love you guys.
Feel better.
What's up, y'all? This is Dawn Robinson, formerly of In Vogue and Lucy Pearl, and you're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. My girls. I love y'all.
Hi, this is Mason. You're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Perfect.
Leon, that's right, Leon, for some of your favorite movies, and I'm at brunch in the basement with Terez and JaVonne. Stay here with me. Stay here with me.
in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music politics are just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artist or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today. Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
All our bosses though, Jay. She's got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out.
You can send me some cologne, cause I mean, you know, yeah. Just in case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, you know, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
and we thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. This part, that little piece, I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing.